still in the championship chase on this final weekend of the SEC regular season. And it's Oklahoma in the driver's seat. Kai Minor will lead things off. Like Wells, a member of the most productive freshman class in the country offensively. Yeah, last year, Smitty, they loaded up on the transfer portal. This year, they went and hit the recruiting trail hard, and it has paid off.
Yeah, this is a magical class. Just so many different tools.
One to Minor. Misses the way. Pulls it foul. Sydney Lessentine leads the Aggies in ERA, whip, and opponent's batting average out of New Mexico, making her 21st start tonight.
She's done a good job limiting those free passes. Is going to be uber important against this strong Oklahoma offense.
Two-2 pitch catches the corner. Minor caught looking one down.
How about Lessentine going to the outer half? She will throw a little bit of a screwball to really try to expand the strike zone. Great job also by Kowalewski behind the dish to frame that pitch up.
One down, and here's Ella Parker. One of 4 Sooners and the top 25 list for National Player of the Year honors announced this week. One of 7 double-digit home run hitters in their lineup. Pops it up, 2 down.
Shortstop number 42, Gabby Garcia.
Here's Gabby Garcia with Kendall Wells on deck. And 2. And we'd like to welcome you to Davis Diamond here at Texas A&M for the Oklahoma Sooners, #1 in the country, and the 12th ranked Aggies. Game 1 of 3, and Kendall Wells on deck right now for the Sooners. 1 home run away from the NCAA single season mark that has stood for 31 years, held by Arizona's Laura Espinoza. I'd like to welcome those of you that just watched Arkansas beat Florida. Or excuse me, beat Texas. Florida a winner over Georgia earlier tonight. That loss eliminates Texas from the regular season race. Still in a fight for a top 4 seed to get that double bye in the SEC tournament. And Garcia is hit by the pitch. So here comes Wells. 36 home runs for the 18-year-old out of Bogart, Georgia. So many big hitters, Smitty, over the years have tried to catch Espy, who set the record in 1995 with 37 home runs. And might it just be the youngster who turns 19 tomorrow Is she the one to tie it and ultimately set a new mark? And how will Texas A&M throw to her throughout the weekend? Sydney Lessentine out there in the circle for the Aggies with 2 outs. Wells first pitch swinging. It's a record chase that started on opening day. She had a couple of infield pop-ups to start her career. Third AB, pow. Sent one out, and she was off and running. Has already set the single-season freshman record, has already passed Jocelyn Allo, who had 34 home runs at Oklahoma, the Sooners' single-season record. One and two.
She just has a complete swing. And there's nowhere to hide as a pitcher, nowhere to attack. And she's just had this magical year already, and we're not even to the postseason.
No. Look at that, 63% of her hits have left the building. Of course, we'll document the season she's been having all night tonight. Her spray chart, when you see it's off the charts. It's all over the place. Inside pitches, outside pitches, up in the zone, down in the zone. She's been getting to everything. And now the count goes full. Who's protecting her today? That would be Cassidy Pickering. Due up next. The first team All-American a year ago. Rips it foul past her head coach, Patty Gasso.
Hands are so quick. What has also been astonishing is her ability to just get that barrel to ball.
Yep. She has homered in 31 of their 52 games. She has hit home runs in every SEC series this year. And look at that, 5 of her last 7 hits have gone out. Another 3-2 pitch here to Wells.
Her discipline in the box really is magical. The way she sees the ball, the way she reads spin. And the adjustments. 57-mile-an-hour changeup. She identifies it, gets rid of it.
Patty Gasso says she loves breaking down film. She's inquisitive, working with their hitting coach, Patty's son, JT. Not afraid to find a weakness and turn it into a strength. Sends it deep down the line and foul. And it's a 10-pitch at-bat, her first of the night. Put a charge in it, a little out in front. And ultimately draws the walk. 2 on with 2 outs for OU. And a couple of free passes.
It's a curveball in the outer half, and she has that discipline to stay off of it.
So in steps Pickering. Sooner fans hoping that she can break out of the toughest slump of her career. Sends a charge into that one deep to center, and not enough on it. Long fly out, a couple left on. A&M picking up the bats when we come back. Around college softball this year has been the offenses and all of the home run hitting that's going on around the country. The Sooners as a team have already set a new NCAA single season record. The old record also matched and passed by UCLA.
That's right. I think it's safe to say it's been a pretty offensively explosive year.
Kennedy Powell to start things off for the Aggies out of Conroe, Texas. It's a scrappy group of Aggies. They're looking forward to the challenge. What their head coach, Tricia Ford, says, an opportunity to shine. When you're playing against number one, when you're playing against Oklahoma, a team you know you're probably going to have to run through at some point if you want to win a national championship. She's looking for her club to be real aggressive. And a called strike 3 takes care of Powell, 1 down. Audrey Lowry, the 20-game winner for the Sooners in the circle.
Audrey Lowry with a lot of composure in that circle. Very determined, has that great lefty spin. Just a sophomore. But has really done a good job of controlling the strike zone this year. Just 19 free passes.
Here's Talon Edwards. What are the Aggies up against? Well, Lowry, in her 15 starts, the Sooners are 15-0, and the run support is at 11 runs per game when she throws. And oh, by the way, with Texas A&M needing a sweep, Smitty, Patty Gasso's Sooners, in her nearly 30 years, they have never been swept in a 3-game set.
Yeah, I mean, the numbers are mind-boggling, but this is a Oklahoma team that Patty puts together that typically never has a weakness. They're very good defensively. They pitch well.
Lots of lefty love.
Lots of lefties in that circle. Good
they got
spin.
Quite a few picking up the bats tonight as well.
And then, of course, the offense. I mean, the last, I would say, 10 years, this is an Oklahoma team that has just done a good job putting runs up the board. But this Aggie team, as you mentioned, they're spicy. They like to compete. They like the challenge of tonight.
1-2 from Lowry to Edwards. She knows all about facing the Sooners. She spent her first 3 years at Oklahoma State. Has the experience of a couple of trips to the World Series.
Golden Glove at third base, is now playing second base for the Aggies. Hitting in this 2-hole. And she's got a great eye. She's not afraid to take that walk. In fact, sometimes Coach Ford wishes she was a little bit more aggressive on pitches through the zone.
Full count. Foul territory. Emmerling calling for it. 2 down, and here comes Maya Perez. Maya has had the pleasure of reaching base every game she's played this year, all 49 of them. The only D1 player to make that claim. And she is one of the finalists for Player of the Year honors.
Yeah, just amazing. Hits for average and power. .621 on-base percentage. 17 home runs.
Yeah, her OB is third best in the country. As you can imagine, with the kind of power, she also walks a lot.
She sure does. 46 of those walks on the year.
Yeah, she has put together an All-American campaign for sure. Against Audrey Lowry, who you'd have to put on the short list right now for SEC Pitcher of the Year. You think Keegan Rothrock at Florida, who picked up a win today. Jocelyn Brisky at Alabama.
Sage Marjecko at Tennessee.
Yeah. Not the names you would have picked maybe at the beginning of the year, but those 4 would probably be your best shots right now at it. And Perez draws the walk on 4 pitches, 2 out base runner.
It's a little bit of, we know what Perez can do. We're not going to give her too much here at that first at bat, especially with 2 outs and nobody on.
And her way up to play with designated player, number 14, Michaela Ward.
That'll bring up Michaela Wark, the other transfer from Oklahoma State. Out of Frisco, Texas. Top 5 in SEC games only in home runs and runs batted in. has not hit for average against lefties, but she does have an OPS of over 1,000. When she connects, it's for extras or it's over the fence.
You can see Lowry continuing to attack her underneath the hands, that lefty spin, throwing that curveball, trying to get underneath and inside to work.
1-2 from Lowry. Work doesn't chase. That was really job number 1 for Tricia Ford when she talked to us about her hitters. Last week, not good at all in their series loss against South Carolina. Too much chase. So we got to be much more disciplined this weekend.
National averages, that is truly what's mind-boggling. I mean, it just shows how complete this team is. 1 through 9, and even off the bench. They have 300 and 400 plus hitters that come off the bench.
Had a chance in the first inning, left a couple on base. It's 6, 7, and 8 in the order to face Sydney Lessentine. Here's Abby Dayton, one of their big portal pickups from a year ago. And the one thing you're always going to see pretty much from the Sooners is a big jump. More home runs this year, more runs batted in this year. And this coming from a former Pac-12 batting champ from her days at Utah. Her first 2 seasons there. Did not go. Third, Steve Gould at first, and that is Cameron Ellison behind the plate tonight. It's the swing and miss. All right, so something to watch with every Abby at-bat, only 4 strikeouts all season. Fouls that one out of play. This is the gauntlet you've got to run and pick and choose, because everybody 1 through 9 has home run power. 7 players on the team double-digit home runs. Ella Parker is 1 away from becoming the 3rd Sooner with at least 20.
It's truly amazing. The numbers are just so gaudy and complete.
Ironically enough, very similar to Laura Espinoza and her teammates in 1995 at Arizona, when Jenny Dalton-Hill and Leah Bratz also. I mean, that trio.
Yep. Protecting each other.
With Amy Shellevold and Allison Johnson in front of them, forget about it. Olympian Leah O'Brien was on that team as well. They were crazy good in 95 at Arizona. Well, pretty much throughout the 90s at Arizona. UCLA, the dynasty before that, and now certainly what Oklahoma has done in the last decade. Bobbled on the grass at second. And Dayton is aboard to lead off this second inning. E4 on Edwards.
Abby Dayton taking a pitch on the inner half. It looks like she's going to try to get it through that 3-4 hole. Good job by Talon Edwards to go get it. And that's a play that she'd like to have back. Talon Edwards, a Gold Glover at third base when she was at Oklahoma State. So a little bit different movement pattern now at second.
Well, that's 3 free passes here in the first 6 to the plate. Essentially with an error, a hit batter, and a walk.
Yeah, and this one hurts the most because it's a leadoff. The hit batter and the walk came with 2 outs in the inning in the first.
And oh, by the way, the luxury for the Sooners of having a 400 hitter with 18 homers in the 7 spot in your lineup. Here's Bella Emmerling.
It's like, say what? That's usually a 4-hole hitter. Numbers.
2-1 at 67 miles an hour. Emmerling 6th in the SEC in RBI. She had a grand slam in their series win against Arkansas last weekend. "11 RBI in her last 7 games. She's got a good count here. And it goes full.
If you can track it down, you can take it home, courtesy of the Dixie Chicken.
A lot of 3-ball counts here early on, Smitty, from the Aggies. Gets the swing and miss. Strikeout number 2 for Lessentine.
Well, with that rise ball, when she uses that, it can be deadly.
Laying down the bunt is Barker, and it's a good one. Both Sooners are safe. And for the 2nd inning in a row, OU has a runner in scoring position. There's the 9-hitter, Ailana Agbayani.
Good job by Barker to read the defense, see what they're giving her, put a bunt down, beat it out. Those are the little things that A&M is going to have to fix if they want to run with a team like Oklahoma. You've got to be able. They put a bunt down, you got to get an out, especially after your pitchers just basically issued a non-competitive or a non-productive out, I should say, getting Emmerling to strike out.
Tricia Ford's club. You know, these two were obviously very familiar with one another from their Big 12 days, but that's been a minute. This is actually their first meeting since 2012. They were supposed to play in the SEC tournament final last year, got rained out, so they were co-champs. Agbayani thinks about the bunt.
Agbayani hitting in the 9-hole. Typically you see her in the 6-hole, but Patty Gasso switching some things around at the bottom of the lineup.
The Hawaiian is .364 with runners in scoring position and has only struck out once, so she's usually good to at least put the ball in play. And now ahead in the count 2-0.
Well, Agbayani is a lot like Abby Dayton, very difficult to strike out. Second fewest strikeouts in this starting lineup.
Now 2-1. Does put down the bunt. Powell at third does make the play over to first. And with 2 outs, Kai Miner back at the top of the order has 2 in scoring position. Kai struck out looking her first time up. Kai comes in with the best batting average in the freshman class amongst the power teams.
She's so good in that leadoff spot. She was not leading off the beginning part of the season. Cassidy Pickering was in that leadoff spot for Oklahoma, and they moved her up, and she has not left. She's been outstanding for the Sooners.
Out of Irvine, California.
She's fast, multi-tooled. And she's that. These last 2 pitches, close, but doesn't bite on them, so she puts herself in a leverage count now at 2-0.
Couldn't hold up there. She's not a typical leadoff in that she likes to walk. She likes to swing. Only 10 walks all year.
Exactly.
She wants to get after it with 2 on board here and 2 down. OU looking for the early lead. Good fight from Sydney Lessentine to get to 2-2.
Well, Lessentine's had to work around a little bit of trouble and error to lead off the inning, and then a bunt that probably should have been played a little bit better that ended up resulting in a base hit. She continues the battle. This is all about adjustments. We talk about this freshman class for Oklahoma and how good they are. Pitch that's up and just drives it into the gap, and that is why Kai Minor is one of the toughest outs in the game of softball. Big bash to put 2 runs up on the board for the Sooners.
And now a runner out there for Ella Parker. Has hit in 5 straight. Over half of her hits are extras. She is dynamite with 2 outs and a runner in scoring position, hitting over 500. As good as she has been, an All-American, her first 2 years, her numbers are even better as a junior.
Oklahoma's so good at identifying pitches early, out of the hand, not chasing, one of the lowest chase rates in the country.
Patty Gasso now in her 32nd season, 8 national championships. Had the unprecedented run recently of 4 in a row. Bowed out last year in the national semis.
A young team last year as well, young team this year. I think if there's one thing about an Oklahoma team, you can always say they're prepared in every facet of the game.
2-1 to Parker. Patty Gasso was telling us this week too, Smitty, she doesn't think they've peaked yet.
Right.
She said, we're good at all 3 phases, but not necessarily all 3 in one game. And that's still, the hunt is still on for that heading into the postseason. 4-0, Sooners in front. Looking for a win tonight to clinch at least a share of an SEC championship for the 2nd year in a row. And they continue to add on to that home run record. This is Gabby Garcia, who is already in the 20 home run club with the double deuce. That is Kate Munnerlin, the lefty from Los Gatos, California, in the bullpen. 3 hits in the inning, which started with an error. That base runner, Abby Dayton, came around to score, and then Kai Minor, a 2-run double. Ella Parker, a 2-run home run.
Well, I think if the Aggies go back and look at this game, look at the tape, they're going to say, okay, the error that started off the inning, the Sydney Barker bunt that we were not prepared for.
And oh, by the way, look who's on deck. Kendall Wells. She of the 36 home runs this season, 1 shy of the all-time record. Right back up the middle, slams into Lessentine. And they make the play to get the out at first. Hopefully Sydney is okay as she comes off. Does Oklahoma want to review the play at first? Doesn't look like Garcia knew for sure, so they'll let it go.
Ella Parker showing why she's one of the best in the game. A pitch on the inner half, she drives up for her 20th home run of the year. How about 170 for the Sooners as a team?
For OU, with a 4-0 lead, if they win, they are SEC champs. They can try and win it outright tomorrow. Texas A&M still trying to stay in that fight for a top 4. Not out of it yet if they can rally. They would also need Florida and Alabama to lose a game this weekend. They both won tonight.
Yeah, it's that time of year where every single game matters. And obviously for the seeding of the SEC tournament. And then also, you know, we talk a lot about those bubble.
Yeah.
Those bubbles for the regional, super regional hosts.
Right now, UCLA, Tennessee, Oregon, Texas Tech on that Supers bubble, although Tennessee's resume right now is the best of those other teams. And then the top 16 is pretty much all SEC teams fighting for some of the last 2 or 3 spots.
Right.
There could potentially be 11 of the 16 hosts and 6 of the top 8 SEC schools. And most likely, next week at the SEC tournament, we'll decide who will be the overall #1. Right now, that's the Florida Gators in the RPI. Just a little background, Smitty.
Has that been, what, the 5th?
20 years we've been doing these seeds. Only twice has the final #1 RPI not gotten the #1 seed.
It is interesting.
Just throwing that out there.
Yeah, exactly. And there's been so many different #1s this year.
Ground ball. Dement is out. Here's what's at stake. The SEC tournament, which is always nuts. Of course, we're going to crown a champion. There have been 6 in the last 5 years because we had a tie last year.
Exactly.
And most likely we'll be determining who's #1, what the hosts are going to look like, top 16, and also we got to decide the fate of some 500 teams like Missouri and the Auburn Tigers, who are flirting with 500. Sure. You have to be 500 or better to be considered. That doesn't necessarily mean you're in.
Right.
Missouri does have a pretty strong resume. Auburn might need to win a couple at the SEC tournament. We're at the bottom of the second after Oklahoma put up 4 in the top half of the inning. Ariel Kowaleski, the #6 hitter. Oh, by the way, the Kendall Wells home run chase. She will lead off for Oklahoma in the top of the 3rd. She will discard the tools of ignorance, pick up a bat, and get to work.
She's got those tools on right now. You know, we talk about her home run power. She's also so good behind the dish.
Oh, yeah. Opponents have only run on her, I believe, 7 times, and she's thrown them out 3 of those 7. So,
yeah, she's just good. She frames the ball up well, communicates with her team.
And the walk here to Kowaleski. Second free pass from Audrey Lowry. Kendall, in her first at-bat, walked, so she was on base. A 10-pitch at-bat, by the way, and she will come up first for the Sooners in the next inning. I mean, you think of, you know, you go back to Laura Espinoza in '95, but then, my goodness, some of the legendary names, future Olympians, All-Americans. I wrote some down for you, Smitty. Jenny Dalton, Stacey Newman. Then it was Kristen Rivera and Danielle Gomez. And then you start rolling down into some of the younger guys, Romero and Warren and Chamberlain and Allo. A couple of years ago, we had 3 players in past 90 career home runs. In Tiara Jennings, Carly Spade, Addison Barnard. Some great sluggers over the years, but none were able to reach Espy.
Well, and look at it. She's done it in 51 games, so she could tie. If she were to hit one today, she'd do it. I mean, just, it's incredible. 20% less games.
All right, so a 1-out base runner here for A&M. They got some work to do trying to come back against Lowry. Kelsey Mathis will step in. Mathis lines one out to left, and it goes over the head of Dayton. And A&M with runners on 2nd and 3rd. And their first threat.
How about Mathis just getting into a pitch? attacks it immediately. Going out and driving a ball. This is going to be a curveball, trying to get it underneath her hands, and she just barrels it up. Look at the way she's going to get that ball and just mashes it. Gets over Abby Dayton out in left field. Nice stretch. Almost has an opportunity to make that catch. So the Aggies trying to put some runs up on the board themselves here and counter what the Sooners did in the last half inning.
Paisley Allen with a chance to strike back. Transfer from Georgia, back home in her native Texas. .393 hitter on the season with a runner in scoring position.
Continuing to challenge these righties up underneath the hands with that curveball coming in. Infield for Oklahoma pulled in with the runners in scoring position. Get a ground ball left side.
Tries to drop down the bunt. And now 2 strikes. Aggies have gotten some good hitters counts this inning, Smitty. Taking advantage.
That's the key. Get yourself in a leverage position, and then you split the zone, so you're looking, you know what you're hunting, you've done your homework, your classwork, as we like to call it nowadays, really scouting pitchers, what they throw in certain situations when they're behind versus ahead. The way that Paisley Allen came into this at-bat, worked from ahead, evened up the count at 2-2, and then takes a pitch she's able to compete with and drive it up the middle. So it's a curve on the outer half that comes back into the zone, doesn't do too much with it, just pops it up the middle. And because the middle infielders, Gabby Garcia and Alana Agbayani, were pulled in with runners in scoring position, that ball gets through. A couple of runs through and on the board now for the Aggies.
Oh, the bubble machines are in full throttle right now from the 12th man. Tradition here at Davis Diamond. Oh, inside, and did that hit her? Yes, it did. Frankie Vrajel, free pass for the 9-hitter, and that turns the order over.
Well, that's never what you want to see. Those free passes that Lowry typically is so good at controlling. That's her 3rd one on the game, so a couple of walks coming into this game. Just 19 walks on the season, so 2 walks, a hit batter already.
It's Patty Gasso asking if she leaned into that. She's out talking to Cam Ellison right now. May just be planting the seed for the future here. Ooh.
Well, Vrajel is, she's stepping and
remember, all you need is the toe out of that batter's box, right?
Yeah, but she's crossing over. The pitch is in the batter's box when it hits her, so that is a hit by pitch. But yes, if her bat would have contacted the ball and her foot was out of the box, she would be called out. But that's a crossover, foot in the box, ball in the box, so it's a hit by pitch.
So 2 free passes in the inning, 2 runs on the board, 2 on, and how about the go-ahead run at the plate? Kennedy Powell. The only returning starter playing in the same position that she was a year ago. They had to replace 5 starters and their ace, Emily Kennedy, from a year ago.
By Powell to pull back on that. Looked like she was trying to pull the corners in. So Gabby Garcia and Barker are going to talk a little bit on that left side, make sure they're communicating on who's going to be covering third if that ball goes down. 2-2.
Kennedy struck out looking at a curveball her first time up.
Well, that's where they go right back to that last pitch. Curve with a little up going away from her. Good pitch here at 3-2.
Out in front. Off speed at 60 miles an hour.
And that is a quality pitch at 3-2. You could tell that Powell was hunting something hard on the outer half. And look at the spin on that. That is all spin speed over pitch speed. Powell way out in front of that. Lowry picks up her third strikeout on an outstanding changeup.
I'll bring up Talon Edwards. Popped up her first time around. Audrey Lowry trying to get it done. The sophomore who has stepped into the ace role of sorts this year. One of 15 pitchers in the country that has already reached the 20-win mark on the season.
Well, Beth, that's interesting. She reached those 20 wins with only a little over 100 innings pitched, 102.2 coming into today's game. Oklahoma, all that offense, a lot of their games shortened.
Yep. Run rule wins this season. Well over half of their games. Well, when you're scoring 10 a night, and there's a pop-up to second, you're going to be doing all right. How do you score 10 a night? You have a lot of big boppers, like that freshman on the horizon, the single-season NCAA mark. She stands one away. 31 home runs off of righties, 5 off of lefties, and she will give it a go against a new left-handed pitcher that is coming into the ballgame, Kate Munnerlyn.
Munnerlyn's done a good job of keeping the ball in the yard, just 7 home runs given up.
Lets that one go by for strike one. Missed away. No lawn chair out beyond the fences are safe against Kendall. She's hit 14 to left field, 11 to right field, and 11 to center field. Very democratic with her home run balls.
And she's also had the ability to sit on changeups and mash them, rise balls.
It's that crouch stance that she uses. She gets real low into that stance.
Low in that stance, front foot open, clears the hips.
Skies that one into foul territory, and that'll get out of play. Yeah, that's one of the most impressive things, I think, of what she's been able to do.
Yeah, her spray chart, it's because her swing is complete, it's powerful, it is aggressive, but it's also her ability to make great decisions, not chase too much out of the zone. She looked like she had a weakness earlier in the year, but she very quickly made adjustments. Outer half, she looked like she was biting, chasing. These 11 home runs to right field.
This one, same location, and into the screen.
It's a windy night, helping blow those balls a little bit out of play. Looking like they might stay in play, and then the wind blowing them into foul territory.
It's been a 31-year wait for someone to threaten Laura Espinosa's mark. Is tonight the night for Wells, and that one's in the dirt, 2-2. Carly Spade came the closest a few years back with 36.
Had a great career in
Alo's,
Miami of Ohio.
Alo's been close. Megan Grant this year is close. Megan's only 2 behind the UCLA slugger with 34. Swing and a miss and a strikeout for Munnerlyn.
So after seeing a couple of change-ups, able to sneak a pitch on the outer half. This is a little bit of backdoor curveball action, a little up. So this is moving on multiple planes, and she gets that to hop over the bat of Kendall Wells.
With 1 out, here's Cassidy Pickering. Drove one to deep center her first time up. Cassidy's numbers on the season are actually very similar to a year ago. A victim right now of what's been happening lately. It has not been good. Trying to work her way out of the slump. We had a good chat with her during the week. Hoping that she can swing free, Smitty. Get that groove back. There you see the numbers lately. Actually has not been in the starting lineup in 4 of the last 5 games. Been used as a pinch hitter.
At times you can tell that she's not really seeing the ball. And this is a really tough matchup for her, lefty-lefty. Munnerlyn does a good job of attacking lefties underneath the hands. And trust me, being a left-handed hitter myself, it is very difficult when that ball comes from behind the back of a left-handed pitcher.
Lofts that one out to right. 2 down. I'll bring up Abby Dayton as Pickering passes on some knowledge.
Oklahoma team with 6 of the 9 hitters are left-handed.
Dayton reached on an error and scored in that 4-run second inning.
Couple of good rise balls that Dayton's able to lay off of. That's part of the reason why she only has those 4 strikeouts on the year. She just doesn't chase pitches out of the zone or up at her eyes.
2-1.
There's that change up in the mid-50s, and she'll throw it back-to-back. Saw her in a 2-0 leverage count for the hitter, and she throws it, not afraid to put it right across the plate. Ooh, nice pitch on the inner half, and I think Munnerlyn, you know, she's raising her hands up like, where'd that miss? Take a look at this pitch. It's a rise ball that's got some backdoor action to it. It looks like a good pitch. Dayton with that eye doesn't bite on it. AK or catcher is holding it up.
That one looked pretty good. I think that'll be a big discussion right in this offseason about the strike zone moving forward.
Absolutely, it should be discussed. I mean, we're at the point now where the number of balls leaving the park,
home runs
the
are off the
averages,
chart this year compared to recent years.
Well, that's why Coach Ford's going to come out, talk to her battery. But to your point, Beth, you know, those are things that need to be addressed because we need to kind of swing the pendulum back a little bit more so that the pitchers aren't having to throw pitches and at bat to get hitters out, or they can't get hitters out, or then balls that look like they have the hitter beat end up leaving the yard. All those things that affect the pace of play, number of runs scored.
Sooners will try and get something cooking here with 2 outs. And Isabella Emmerling coming up.
Did a good job of it last inning, scoring a couple of runs with 2 outs. So you go from Abby Dayton, who does not strike out much, who's very picky about what she does swing at, to Bella Emmerling, who will, I love to watch her. Bella is one of my favorite to watch because she just swings it. If it is around the zone, she's going to go for it.
Breakout year for her, batting average up over 200 points. Her power numbers also elevated.
Going for the Sooners in the top of the 3rd inning. Then leave the runner straight as you're headed to the bottom of the 3rd inning.
4-2 our score. Oklahoma with the lead over Texas A&M. And on the headset now is assistant head coach Jen Rocha. Patty Gasso having a little trouble with her voice, so Jen's going to fill in tonight. Great to see you, Jen.
Good to see you.
Tell us a little bit about the strategy in a situation like this with the pitching staff that you have, the balance, and the ability to use Audrey Lowry right out of the gate here.
Audrey's pitching a great game right now, so I'm going to call
Jen, you go ahead and call the pitches.
Thank you.
You go ahead. You can take the headset off. We'll get back to the action.
Okay, wait. They're calling timeout. We're good.
Okay.
We're good. I had a pitch ready.
Okay.
Pitch was in.
So, Jen, tell us a little bit about Audrey and what makes her so special, other than that she's left-handed.
Yeah, well, that is key, but she does have much more than that. I think she's come in and she's really bought into the system that we're working here. She works hard, and she's all in for everything the Sooners are doing, and I love that. She's just willing to work on things, try new things, and so she's having a lot of success doing that.
Thank you so much, Jen. We appreciate it.
We'll let you get back.
Great to see you back there in the dugout.
Yes, good to see you.
All right. We're told JT Gasso also has some voice issues tonight, so we don't want to tie Jen up because she's got to be calling the pitches.
Right. I think she was a little conflicted, like, wait, I want to talk to you, but I need to call the pitches.
That's the staff that has been together a long time now. 9th season with her son, Patty's son, JT, as the hitting coach. The last 7 of which the teams have hit over 100 home runs, including the new record-setting club this year.
Patty Gasso talks about the fact that her coaching staff around here, they're so good at what they do, and Jen Rocha this year with some health issues and is now back with the team. And just Patty talked about how difficult that was for her.
Yeah.
As a friend, as a staff, as well as for the pitchers.
Of course, they're together a lot, not only with Oklahoma, but with the U.S. national team, in which Patty will be the head coach at the Olympics in a couple of years. Here's Maya Perez, A&M. Always a threat to jack one. 3, 4, and 5. Down 4-0 in the second. They got 2 of them back. And now we'll try for more here in the 3rd. And a strikeout for Lowry.
Well, Lowry's just been really going at these left-handed hitters for the Aggies. Look at this pitch on the outer half and the movement on it. So that's moving on multiple planes. It's got a little bit of up on it, a little bit of out on it. It's coming in the high 60s. 4th strikeout tonight. Lowry looking strong.
Here's Michaela Wark. Walked her first time up. Tricia Ford has talked about, 20 really good weeks of offense, one bad week last weekend when they lost to South Carolina, and got to quickly get back to the A&M standard.
Well, Beth, one of the first things she said, too, was, you're going to have a bad weekend. Last year, they had a bad weekend at the wrong time during the regionals as the #1 seed.
Lost here at home to Liberty in that legendary showdown. But she had a great line. She always stresses, we're always on offense.
That's
even
right.
when we're pitching, even when we're on defense, we want to be the aggressor. Be proactive. They haven't seen Oklahoma, none of these players. They haven't played each other in a long time unless the transfers in, like Warwick, who was at Oklahoma State.
Yep. First time for Oklahoma that they're playing in Davis Diamond.
Yeah. Down the line and foul. Yeah, the Sooners have been tested. I mean, hostile territory here. They had to play at Texas, won there. Had to play at LSU, won there.
That's what Patty Gasso talks about it. Tricia Ford does as well. We want to go into...
Yep. There's a base knock.
The coaches talk about it. They want to go into hostile environments because they know that's what makes them stronger. McCullough worked a nice hit through the 5-6 hole.
Yeah, OU's in the midst. They'll finish the year 13 of their last 14 against ranked foes. They will likely see 3 more at the SEC tournament. No easy roads.
And as this season has continued on, their strength of schedule is certainly tightened up. It's helped them get into that top 8 RPI, which is important. Again, we talk about those ability to host the super regionals.
Straightaway center, Minor has a beat on it. 2 down. If they can continue to win, you would think that RPI will rise. They're 6 right now. 16 wins, tied with Texas for the most against the best teams in the country.
Right. And I think the one at the very bottom, the non-conference SOS, the non-conference strength of schedule, just a 106. So that's part of the reason why that's taken a while for that RPI to continue to get lower and lower. Yeah, that's like a whole math class trying to figure out how all that works. So.
It's not the only piece of criteria. Right back to Lowry, she'll spin and fire to first. But the RPI has proven to be significant. 9 different tournament winners in the last 11 years. 13 different teams have played in the SEC championship game in the last 9 years. It's been crazy. We're going to Lexington next week.
It's a free-for-all, typically.
Yeah, starts on Tuesday. This is the final weekend of the regular season. Oklahoma with a win tonight can clinch a share. Both Florida and Alabama won tonight. They sit 2 games back. They have 2 games left to play. Sydney Barker fouls it off. It's 8-9 and then the top. The Kendall Wells home run chase. She has a walk and a strikeout so far tonight, batting 4th. Reaches for it and lifts it out to right. Flau'Jae was there, 1 down.
You look at a team like Florida, Alabama, teams that are in the hunt for this. It really does come down to not having a bad weekend. Last weekend, Alabama lost at Tennessee 2-3 games, and that created that separation for Oklahoma to put themselves in a position. So right now, those teams are Aggie fans hoping for something magical on the Aggie side to happen here in this series. But it just shows how one game can change the complexion of your whole season. And as coaches, you talk to the players. 1 pitch, 1 inning, 1 game.
Out by Knight, bunts it foul. So much of it, too, depends on how your schedule lays out. LSU, for example, hot right now, moving up from near the bottom to now into the middle. Looks like they will be in the hunt for a first-round bye. Good spin move by Munnerlyn, 2 down.
Yeah, that's an LSU team that kind of stubbed their toe a little bit early, but has been playing really strong as of late. And that's what it's about. This time of year, it's all about momentum.
Also a piece of criteria, how you play late in the season. Back to the top of the order, Kai Minor coming up for a 3rd time. 2-run double in the 2nd inning. And then Ella Parker followed that up with a 2-run home run. Minor. That could be trouble. And that'll drop in fair. And Kyle will scoot all the way around to second. Her 2nd double.
Just shows the power, the speed of Minor. So this ball is a little bit of a mishit, but because Allen is playing deep, she can't get to it. Demick can't get to it. So a little flare. You think it's going to be a single? Oh, no, not with Minor. It's going to be a double. She does not let up. Look at the way she sees that. She knows it's trouble. Immediately head down. No hesitation going right into second. Minor with their 2nd double of the game.
All 4 of their runs tonight have come with 2 outs. Can they do the damage again? Here's Parker, the home run hitter. Her 20th of the season. Straightaway center last time up. That wind has picked up. It has cooled off considerably here now that the sun has gone down. The storm front moving in. Kowalewski out to talk to Munnerlyn. That'll give us a chance to revisit this swing, Smitty.
All those runs, 4 of them up on the board with 2 outs because runs number 3 and 4 off the bat of Parker just bashes that one out of the yard. Number 20 on the year for Ella Parker.
170 now for the team.
Just so good, a 3-1 count, attacks it, just wow.
It is going to be fun to watch this weekend and into the postseason. Perhaps the UCLA Bruins are watching tonight. They have a huge 3-game series with Oregon. And their team home run tally is not too far behind Oklahoma's.
This ball hit hard into that 3-4 hole. Definitely, though, a play that Talon Edwards is capable of making. It comes up hard off of the glove, and as soon as Kai Minor sees that, and Patty Gasso, she's just sending her all the way around from second base. So another run up on the board. That's the 18th error in SEC play, 41st of the year for the Aggies.
Well, and a shout out to Kai Minor, because most mere mortals would have only had a single on her hit and then would have only been at second base on the error. And instead, she legs it out for a double and then comes around to score on an infield error all the way from second.
And that's Patty Gasso's mindset with her team. It's that championship mindset where you do everything to an exceptional ability and at an exceptional level. So when that ball's dropping, you take the extra 60 feet, because when there is a defensive miscue, you're going to score.
Second error of the night. And here's Gabby Garcia, which will get Kendall Wells on deck.
Here we go, Kate.
Garcia with an exceptional freshman year, but following it up with a sophomore year hitting over 400, 22 home runs on the year.
Garcia reaches for that, and a chip shot out to center. So Wells will lead off the next inning. A run up for OU, 5-2.
Teams, I mean, this is a team that is seasoned. Now, I do think there's some areas they're going to have to clean up. You know, they had opportunities to put more runs up on the board and weren't able to capitalize. So, you know, it's situational hitting. But the defense, even if they can clean up the defense, the free passes.
Tonight.
Yeah.
3 free passes. And every opponent will tell you, you do not need to give Oklahoma any help.
No help. And you can't give them extra outs in an inning. So you can't put free passes on, but then you certainly can't give them 4 and 5 outs an inning.
7, 8, 9 here. Kelsey Mathis to face Audrey Lowry. Sophomore from Waco, Texas. And if you're like Smitty and you follow the Little Leaguers at Midway Little League in Waco,
that's right,
one of the best in the country. She was ranked top 20 prospect coming out of high school.
Texas has always been a very strong state when it comes to Little League softball.
These two go back a long way in the SEC, of course. Head-to-head, Oklahoma has won 10 in a row, but they haven't played in about 15 years. And now together again in the SEC. And a strikeout there for Lowry. Number 5, 1 down.
Well, Lowry just has such a nice bend on the ball, so it's late sharp break, it's good spin speed, it's top of the zone, so it makes you make a decision. And she's not afraid, because of her spin rate of over 1,500, she's not afraid to throw that ball over the white. And so, you know, we talk about it all the time as pitchers. You throw a really good pitch with great movement in a good location, more than likely the hitter's going to strike themselves out.
Here's Paisley Allen. 2-run single in the second. Lashes that one out to center. Miners there, 2 down. And that means it's time to remind you that the Big Bopper is due up. Kendall Wells will lead off the top of the 5th as she continues her chase of Laura Espinoza and the single-season home run record that has stood for 31 years. She has a walk and a strikeout her first 2 times up tonight. Wearing this soothing horizontal red tape tonight for Audrey Lowry.
We talk about her exceptional hitting, and she's so good behind the dish. I love to see her frame and receive pitches. You know, she catches with a lot of energy, which is fun to throw to.
And maturity back there with a lot of new arms, you know. Lowry has stepped up into a much bigger role this year. Miley Wachenio, who we'll probably see tomorrow, terrific portal pickup from Ole Miss, played in the World Series last year. Sydney Berzon from LSU, and then the freshman Alyssa Parker. There's Miley. Pop up out into shallow left and on the run. Nice backhand from Abby Dayton. So here we go for the 3rd time tonight. Kendall Wells coming up for Oklahoma. Home runs in a single season in Oklahoma history. Jocelyn Allo actually hit 34 in 2 different seasons. And then surpassed that little girl all grown up as Kendall Wells. Just a freshman, 18 years of age for about 10 more hours. Turns 19 tomorrow. And a chance to tie Laura Espinoza's record from 1995 with number 37. Second time she sees Munnerlin, who struck her out with a backdoor curveball back in the 3rd.
Munnerlin really been using that changeup. She throws so good in the low 50s.
Well, it's a nice moment for Laura Espinoza. We get to mention her name and her career a lot. It's a nice moment for Jocelyn Allo, watching at home maybe with a new baby. Congratulations to the newest little Jalo shot.
That's right.
Of course, she's still the career all-time leader, so she's still got records out there, but kind of cool. The progression of the game, you know. Talked to Patty Gasso about that. Obviously, hitters are better educated now. You got video, you got game plans, no more secrets out there.
Better technology, better bats.
Yep.
The ball is very different.
You got nutrition, you got strength and conditioning coaches, and it's a walk for Wells, so she'll have to wait for another AB to get a swing at it. I go back to Espinosa's coach, Mike Candrea, talking to him through the years. He said, one of the big reasons for the explosion of the sport and the parity is us. Everything's on television now. And so you get a chance to see opponents. You used to go to the World Series and you had never seen the other teams on film.
Yeah, you were fortunate if you played them earlier in the year. Otherwise, you had no idea. You had to watch them earlier in the day or the day prior.
Over the years, he was calling it his database, stuff that you just got crammed in your head over the years. As Texas A&M will get the lead runner. Nice play by Perez. But it has been an absolute offensive explosion. Home run records could fall.
Yeah.
Slugging percentage records that have stood for 17 years could fall. The batting average record that Isa Torres is chasing at Florida State.
Crazy.
I think Sarah Graziano is 1994 when she set the record. Been great to watch.
I think Trisha Ford came out to see if maybe there was a little bit of interference at second, possibly a no slide situation. Didn't give Demet the opportunity to turn a double play. Perez, good job of turning and firing over to Demet, and then she does get down. I think Wells does get down. I think the throw actually crossed.
Could have been on the other side of the base.
The throw crossed her up.
Yeah.
So that's where that's something that you practice a lot, trying to figure out if you are going to come to the inside of the bag.
The throw was through the base.
Exactly.
So one out with one on for Abby Dayton. Since that Parker home run in the second inning, the Sooners just 1 for 10. It's lifted out to left center, and on the move is Mathis, 2 down.
Great job by Mathis. Go a long way to make that catch.
Here's Emmerling.
First baseman, 13, Isabella Corona.
Texas A&M has done a good job, really, of limiting some damage. I mean, it's really been Kai Miner with 2 doubles and Ella Parker with the 2-run home run.
2-run single from Paisley Allen. Top of the order coming up here to face Lowry for the 3rd time. And that'll be an infield hit for Kennedy Powell, her first time aboard.
Good job by Powell. A couple of strikeouts, but gets a pitch and smashes over in that 5-6 hole.
Now 5 strikeouts for Lowry, her most since March. And it is the first time tonight that the leadoff is aboard for A&M. Following the 1-2-3 inning in the 4th. Edwards has popped up a couple of times. Bunted into herself there. Was she still in foul territory?
Very close. Opportunity here for Edwards to try to help her team out offensively. Game knows you have those defensive miscues sometimes. It's important to try to turn it around.
Let's see some bullpen activity now for the Sooners. Sydney Berzon, the LSU transfer. Here. It is noteworthy that there have been discussions with bad weather expected most of the day tomorrow that there would not be a game 2 tomorrow. It could be a doubleheader on Saturday, which could affect some of the pitching decisions.
Well, we were mentioning it earlier, Edwards with a couple of defensive miscues. You know it when you're in that situation. She puts herself here in a position to help get some of those runs back. Really rips. Look at the way that she's going to complete this swing. Barrels that up, drives it well down the line, all the way into the corner. Ella Parker has to go, and love the way that a pal is sent. Nice slide to the back of home plate to get in there. So a massive double by Talon Edwards to put another run up on the board for Texas A&M.
Going for the Aggies, it's going to be first baseman.
Somewhere in Tuscaloosa and in a hotel in Athens, Georgia, Florida and Alabama cheering right now for A&M. An Aggies rally for a win puts them 1 game out of first place with 2 to play. The Bubbles are lighting up the night once again.
Focus through the bubbles, whether or not you're hitting.
I mean, they are blowing out onto the field for sure.
Yes.
By the way. And across the sight line for the pitchers and the hitters. I can't imagine the old school Michelle Smith would be a real fan of that in the circle or at the plate.
I'd wait for them all to pass.
Perez, infield chop. Oh, what a play by Lowry. Gets the out at first, but pushes Edwards over to third, 1 down.
That is an outstanding play by Lowry. The way she has got to finish this pitch, get out of the circle, and be able to get that over to Emmerling. Knows she doesn't have a lot of time, just because it's a slow developing play, and with that, Edwards is able to move up to third.
I think the sense too, Michelle, to realize it was slow developing, and the second baseman, Agbayani, may not have had enough time
100%.
if she let that by her.
Absolutely would not have had enough time. If that gets past Lowry, that is going to be an infield base hit for Perez.
So the top of the order making some noise for A&M right now. For the Sooners, a win tonight, they get a share of a championship for a 2nd year in a row. A&M needs to sweep the series. That's never been done in a 3-game series against a Patty Gasso-coached Oklahoma team, by the way. And then they need Florida and Alabama to lose a game in the next couple of days. Started the night with 5 teams still in the chase. Texas losing earlier to Arkansas, so they are out of the race for the regular season title. And the fight continues for them, for A&M, for Tennessee, and for Arkansas to see who can work their way into what looks like the final spot, the 4 seed for the SECs.
Yeah, that's a whole nother aspect of all this, is opportunity to play 1 less game at the SEC tournament.
Big moment here for Michaela Wark. 1 swing could tie it up. 19 home runs on the season.
Aggie leader at this point.
Big swing and a miss. 2 down.
She gets herself in an 0-2 count, where this is a really good location. This is a competitive pitch that Wark has to go out and offer at. So that's a backdoor curveball. It's off the plate just enough, starts to bend back, it induces the swing and miss by Wark. Big strikeout with a runner at third.
Flau'Jae now with a strikeout in each inning tonight. Here's KK Dement. They'd like to get at least one more in here with a runner at third.
He's just 1 for 5 risk in tonight's game.
And base runners in 4 of the 5 innings tonight. Talon Edwards at third. Two. Swing and a miss.
Audrey Lowry showing why she's the ace of this Oklahoma.
Yeah.
They've been a great duo. How about Woolery? She's just kind of come up over the last
second half of the season. All of a sudden, you're like, wow. Lexi McDaniel is the pinch hitter here in the 8 spot to face the new pitcher, Sydney Peters. '31st appearance. Lexi McDaniel, another member of that freshman class out of St. Joe, Missouri. Double-digit home run hitter.
It's amazing, it really is.
Every Sooner has at least 4. 7 of them have 10 or more. Good coverage by Powell at third, 1 down. We've talked about how good the offense has been this year and the big jump really over the last few seasons in terms of the power numbers. But we're talking this year, over 500 more than last season, over 1,000 more than 2 years ago, and over 2,000 more home runs than 3 years ago.
And we project that there's still about another 1,200 games yet to be played this year. I mean, so we are blowing through the numbers. I mean, when you start looking at those statistics, you start to wonder, okay, what's the normal margin of error? That's usually 3 to 5%, and it gives you a 95 percentile that there's going to be accuracy. I mean, we are well beyond that. We're like at a 25% plus difference.
You got 4 teams already with over 100, probably going to get 2 or 3, up to possibly 5 or 6 more that will get over 100 this year.
Oklahoma could hit over 200 home runs. They are projecting at right around 209 home runs on the year. I mean, it's mind-boggling.
They have one tonight from Ella Parker. They average over 3 a game. It's almost, they hit a home run every time through the batting order.
Yeah. And if they don't hit a home run,
and they got good eyes. They got really good eyes. Agbayani draws the walk. I mean, their plate discipline has just been terrific again this year. And now it's back to Kai Minor coming up for the 4th time. And the gaudy numbers, by the way, which you referenced earlier, they lose a lot of innings with all the run rule victories.
100%. Now, those 32 run rule games, think about it, even if it's just 1 run, 1 inning. It could be 2 innings.
Divide that by 7.
Yeah, it's a.
Let's give them 2 innings. Divide that, so that's 64 divided by 7.
That's pretty good.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of games.
You got to help me with the number that I'm looking for.
8 to 9 games.
Man,
I mean,
yeah.
It's
and when
it's
you're averaging
incredible.
3 a game.
Yeah, it's enough extra.
That's 24. I do know that. 24 to 27.
That's good math, people. Yeah, it's really staggering. And then if you drill down even deeper to Wells, how many home runs she's hit, you know, she could be over 40 home runs.
Yeah. It's kind of cool when you break down some of the analytics now, you know. Patrick Murphy loves your leadoff number 1 hitter obviously comes up the most. Your number 6 batter leads off innings the second most of anybody in your lineup. We're seeing a lot of teams put their best hitter now, not in the cleanup, but in the 2 spot. Yeah.
Exactly. Oh, and that's where Ella Parker is tonight. Right behind Kai Minor.
Gets them more at-bats.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you protect that player with your 3 and 4. Can't throw around them.
Yeah, there's a lot that goes into writing lineups nowadays. You can even put in the analytics of the pitcher, their rise ball pitcher with an off speed, and then who in your lineup hits those metrics the best.
Minor lays off the 0-2.
Let's go, next pitch. Here you go, Fred. Good call.
Comes off the runs.
Minor's so quick with those hands, protecting.
Swing and a miss. 2 down. How about our T-Mobile best in game? And tonight, that's the home run from Ella.
Now batting right field number 5, Ella Parker.
Parker with a pitch on the inner half, just drives it out. Number 20 on the year, 170 team total for Oklahoma. Ella Parker showing how to bash home runs.
Here she is with 1 on.
Boy, they come right back to that spot where she hit the home run.
Yeah.
Challenger.
Coming into the night, she's in the 400, 500, 900 club. Batting average, on base, slug.
Parker's one of those hitters that she's been so good, so quick through her career. You look at her and you almost think, you know, she's a senior, she's a junior. And she just has always played with so much maturity. .415 plus.
And draws the walk.
Shortstop number 42, Gabby Garcia.
Here's Gabby Garcia, and that'll get Kendall Wells on deck. Off it.
Nice rise on the outer half, 67 miles an hour.
Rolls it to Edwards, keeps it in front, over to first, got her. No review coming from OU. And now together in the SEC, co-champs in the SEC tournament last year. And that game obviously canceled, so they didn't see each other last season. 6 outs for the Aggies to work with here. 6, 7, and 8 coming up against Audrey Lowry. A season-high 7 strikeouts for Lowry tonight. 0-2 pitch.
Lowry's been good. She's been efficient. Giving up a couple runs, but has battled back in really key situations.
Warning to the Aggie coaches.
Yeah. Jeff Harger got a warning.
Yep. Kawaluski, and that'll drop in for a base hit. Tying run to the plate for A&M. Lead off aboard in the bottom of the 6th.
Softball fans, we need to make you aware inclement weather, including lightning, has been detected within a 10-mile radius of the facility. We're going to keep you informed of any additional change in the weather. Should you choose to vacate the facility for safe shelter,
Well, you may be hearing what the PA announcer is telling the fans. Lightning within 10 miles of the ballpark. If it comes to within 8 miles of the ballpark, there will be a weather delay.
And to the end of run at first base for the Aggies, it's number 9, Haley Golden. Next in the box, Aggie center fielder number 99, Kelsey Mathis.
Here's Kelsey Mathis. Doubled and scored in the 2nd, struck out in the 4th.
Trying to take advantage of Oklahoma being deep on that right side. Love the thought process, the angle of approach on that bat. Just in foul territory. If you're going to lay that down, you got to make sure your bat is in front of your front hip to get that down fair.
Bottom 4 in the order of all base tonight for the Aggies, including Paisley Allen's 2-run double. She's on deck.
And this is what you need to be looking at. Look at how deep this whole side of the infield is. You've got to be you're going to get pitched on the outer half when they're playing that deep. And so you need to let that ball travel a little bit more and either try to punch it through that right side. Left side's pulled up a little bit because I know if you get around that ball, you're going to hit a weak ground ball to the left side. But those are the little parts of the game that the game gives you, that tells you, so you can make those adjustments.
Defense, right?
100%.
Same way, right, as a pitcher, Smitty. You're reading the batter. Where is she in the box?
Absolutely.
Up front, in the back.
Absolutely.
Is she crowding the plate? Is she away from the plate?
What are their hands doing? Are they stepping into it? Or are they stepping open? I mean, all those are just bits of information that you should be detecting. And there it is. I mean, look at that right side. They might as well be in right field.
Yeah. Swinging and a miss at the rise. Got her to chase. Number 8, a new season high for Lowry.
Yeah, Lowry's just got really good spin and rotation on the ball. You can just see the spin speed, that late break. And she's moving the ball on multiple planes, so it's curving a little bit as it's going up.
And now Lightning has gotten closer to Davis Diamond, and that means at least a 30-minute delay. And unfortunately, we knew weather was coming at some point. It looks like they're going to bring the tarp out as well. And with 1 out and 1 on in the bottom of the